pitch tonight. 25 pro bouts compared to just 4 for Lozada. We'll see if that will play a factor tonight. She's coming off a quick turnaround as well. Just fought 2 months ago, a 63-day layoff, a win in June over Carlo Davila. And now let's welcome to the ring from Puerto Rico, Ashley Ann La Máquina Lozada. Chris Lozada, just 4 pro fights, but you mentioned everyone very high on what her ceiling could be.
Yeah, first scheduled 10-round fight, and she's eyeing world title fights next to her. There's no reason to believe that this woman can't be a world champion. 2024 Olympian from Puerto Rico, the first Puerto Rican woman to represent Puerto Rico, advancing to the quarterfinals, and is coming into the program with some momentum. She got Dimitri Salinas, State Promotions behind her, and she has shown some real skills in these first 4 fights. We know that she's got the bottom to the fan zone there, almost 60% favoring Lozada to win. And look, I have seen the skill from Lozada in recent fights. I've started seeing some of the power. Her last time out, she dropped her opponent twice. She's got real power in that straight left hand. Sergio, she talked to us this week about being one of those traditional Puerto Rican converted southpaws. So she's got power in both hands.
It's not only Puerto Ricans that convert their fighters, it's also Cubans. It's one of them southpaws who won that lead fight to actually be harder punch. So yes, she is a southpaw but converted. The thing about her tonight is that she has good footwork. You know, anytime you have a heavy hand, you want to be attacked. You want to be a volley puncher, put the pressure. Lozada does it on her patience. With frustration, with footwork, using the ring, and getting the shots nicely. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it'll be for the vacant WBA Gold Women's Super Bantamweight Championship. Brought to you by Salida Promotions in partnership with Win Records, Clarissa Shields Promotions, and Round 30. Presenting sponsor is Zeus Network, along with their great sponsor, OnlyFans. Sanctioned by the Georgia Athletic Commission Executive Director, Matt Woodruff, along with the World Boxing Association President, Gilberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor, Tina Alpardita. The judges are Eric Gilbert, Troy Staney, and Mike Ross. The referee in charge will be Nate Mann. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. She comes to the ring wearing white, green, and gold and weighed in officially at 122 pounds. Coming to us from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, she brings a professional record consisting of 19. Baja California, Mexico, she brings a professional record consisting of 19.
Oh, nah, don't do me like that. It's a bunch of people trying to watch this bitch. Hold on, y'all. Let me fix it right quick. Let me fix it, y'all. Come here. Come on.
All right, ladies, we have gone over the rules. Make sure you obey my commands at all times. We are going to have a
This ain't the
fair
Clarissa
fight.
Shield fight with,
If
but
you
it's
want to
coming.
trust gloves, do it now. Come out fighting.
Máquina Ashley Ann Lozada, the machine, going after a Mexican machine in Paleta Cuesta, Puerto Rico versus Mexico. We know how that fight normally pans out. Action guaranteed.
Yeah, both of these women promised to come out guns blazing. Let's see how it goes. Two 35-year-olds squared off here in Atlanta, Georgia. Lozada in the black and gold, Cuesta in the white and green.
As mentioned, Lozada being fast track, that includes the level of competition. No professional fight, she's fighting an opponent with 20 plus fights. Last time out, she fought an opponent with 40 plus fights. They're trying to get her as high a level of experience as they can at this stage of her career.
What do you think you would look like if you didn't turn pro until 34 years old?
I based my career off my legs and my feet, and at 34 years old, that's when your legs start to train. So no, if you're a pure boxer, you definitely want to take advantage of it.
Lozada was in that amateur system for a long time. One shot, Lozada.
Yeah,
Started
good
boxing
time,
at
good
16
time.
years old, stayed nearly 2 decades in the amateur system.
Cuesta didn't like that body shot. Normally, it's Mexicans that are hurting their opponents to the body. It's Lozada that actually hurt. The Mexican Cuesta was a left hand to the body, and right now you can see that Cuesta has some punch in the head, and that right elbow to the ribs.
Switching stances too.
And this is what I was talking about coming into the fight. The power's not there right now on the resume, but talking to Lozada this week, she said it's there inside of her. You're going to see her start to pick up some knockouts as his career moves forward.
Well, in her last fight, she won by decision, but dropped her opponent twice. So she's got plenty of pop from that southpaw stance.
Cuesta hasn't punched since that shot landed downstairs. And that's unlike Paleta Cuesta, who's always coming forward, attacking herself. It's her attacking and zeroing in on the body, relying on combinations. She hasn't thrown one punch since that shot landed.
Do you think Lozada knows that?
I don't think she knows that, or she would continue going and attacking downstairs.
What's up, baby? What's up? Waiting the goddamn building. We watching the fight. We waiting for the Clarissa Shield fight to start. He's the undercard.
As a fighter, you don't want to get hit downstairs too early. Here's the shot right there, right on the liver, left hand, the power hand. Lozada coming from that left-handed stance. Shots like that with your elbow open and ribs exposed, they're gonna last a little longer. That pain's gonna linger coming into round two.
Good start to this fight for Ashley and Lozada. Hit hard.
That's what's up. That's
Started
what's up.
fighting as a teenager in Puerto Rico. Growing up in a rural area, had difficulty finding access to training. Finally, a gym was open, but it had to close because of financial problems. So her mother ran it for as long as she could until she couldn't do it anymore. And then she had to find a new gym, but she persevered, stuck with the sport. Here she is on a major card and doing well so far.
I really like what I'm seeing from Lozada, not just what we've seen through 1+ round of this fight, but a continuation from the last fight. The power is really developed. It's a really experienced opponent that's in front of her. Someone's been in with power punches before, and so far it has been a dominant performance by Lozada.
He's only been knocked out one time in 25 fights, and that was by an undefeated puncher in Nazarena Romero. You can see that's really nice, but I like when she throws it straight. Lozada throws that straight left hand down the pipe. It's barely been missing, and Cuesta's not fast enough body to get away from it.
Yeah. And even when she's
There it is right there.
Cuesta's right, whenever she's even blocking punches, Sergio, Lozada is moving Cuesta.
Puncher. Lozada is very polished the placement. I always talk about punch placement. Notice how Cuesta really turns her punches. She's not so big. So amateurish. There's that right uppercut.
Oh.
Beautiful shot.
You can see the legs get a little wobbly there for Cuesta.
This is a true puncher. We got a puncher in Ashley Ann Lozada, and even though she only has one knockout in those 5 fights, she's definitely a puncher. And Puerto Rico got another one.
Cuesta covering up. And what a start for Ashley Ann Lozada.
You can see Lozada attacking that body, touching her downstairs, just to sprinkle with that right hook. And combinations like this, Cuesta cannot be against the ropes against a fighter like Lozada. There's that shot. Touching her downstairs, keeping her hurt down to the body, and then soaring upstairs, looking for that straight left hand is Lozada. That's the best.
I ain't gonna lie, women's boxing has a little bit more attention than men's boxing.
Lozada is a disciple of Amanda Serrano, the greatest women's boxer who came out of Puerto Rico. Even talked to her this week, talks to her regularly about these fights. And Amanda Serrano established herself as one of the biggest punchers in women's boxing. You can see some shades of that in Ashley Ann Lozada.
One of the best body punchers in women's boxing is Serrano. You can see that Lozada has something.
Oh, big right hand for Lozada. Everything coming up gold for her.
She might have busted the nose. Must have hit that nose a few times there.
Lozada steps back just slightly. Cuesta will be able to come back with anything. See, there you go. Stepping back just like that, making Cuesta square up. And Lozada looking for that left hand. Uppercut straight down the pipe.
Good shot there from the Mexican.
The slap over his left there by Cuesta. Needs to turn them knuckles. And she's in there with a much polished puncher.
I'll tell you what, good left hand. It's going to go a long way for Lozada in this fight. Right now, there are 3 belts.
I'll be better when go smoke right quick. I'll be right back.
Nicholson's got the other belt, the WBC belt, at 122. Lozada can build herself towards one of those title goals.
Another brutal body shot. You can see it on the face of Cuesta, who's given it all she's got, but she's been outclassed every second of every round.
Every time
Lozada realized that one.
Yeah, it's only second or third round.
Lozada hits her downstairs. Cuesta's feeling it.
Turning lefty, turning righty. She's just trying to avoid the body blows. Lozada looks so comfortable in there.
Now Cuesta, because of the pain of the body on the right side, turning southpaw herself, doesn't want to get hit on that right side.
It's lovely Mexico as former world champion Mauricio El Franco Lara returns for a matchroom card for the first time since 2024, looking to make a statement against Carlos Ornelas in Guadalajara on Saturday, August 29th, live on the global home of boxing. Let's go.
More ability than her. Don't try to stand you there. You know? Lozada touching her with that jab. That's that one shot, pulling back. That's the only thing that I'm seeing from Rosada doing wrong. She's pulling back, but that's what I'm seeing that she's doing right. Continues to hurt Cuesta to the body. Her left hand, it's an uppercut going around the guards and throwing upstairs, keeping Alberta Cuesta hurt.
It's a party-like environment here at State Farm Arena. Sold out crowd. About 15,000 expected as Lozada continues to pour it all on Cuesta.
Gets 4 shots, steps back, lets Cuesta come at her. See, that's what she's doing wrong. She's pulling back. That's the only thing they got to work on. She needs to stay inside instead of pulling back.
Left hand out of the southpaw stance lands again for Lozada.
Look at how calm the look in the face of Lozada. Breathing's under control. It's very relaxed under pressure.
Lozada's only stoppage came against Carmen Vargas, and it was in the first round in under 30 seconds. You know, she'd love to get a second one here tonight in just her 5th pro fight.
Lozada is excellent when she's in front of her opponent. I would like to see her get angles. When you're a southpaw, you have that advantage of angles and you move away from different positions for that left-handed stance. So that's the only thing Lozada needs to start working on. Is getting angles once you get on the inside. It's a left or right, just pivot away.
Lozada still targeting the body. She knows Cuesta's covering it up best she can.
Still getting caught. That right hand is Lozada. There's 3 or 4 of them over the last 2 rounds.
It's that habit she has. She pulls back. You got to see her. That's the concept of she's running on Lozada. She keeps her head in the same spot. And when she does pull back, her hands are down.
Still to come tonight, our main event, and the champ is here. Yes, Claressa Shields is the challenger tonight. Sergio, if you were in the corner of Kay Scott, what would your motivational speech be in the locker room?
Well, we know what her team wants her to do, and what motivational speech they have for her, but we can't say it on air. But what I would tell her is, this is the time to shine. You're going up against the greatest. Use that momentum. Do not make it a close fight. Either you do something great or you go out on your shield. That's what I would motivate her with. This is your moment. Time to shine.
Chris, does she have a better chance if this is more of a boxing match or more of a brawl?
I think she has no chance if it's a boxing match. Claressa Shields is a vastly superior boxer. If she can make it a fight, land a few of those left hooks, and make it happen, I guess.
Make it a fight, not a brawl. There's a difference between the two.
What's the difference?
A brawl, there's no technique involved. There's no finesse. You know, a fight, you can definitely have finesse in a fight.
Well, let's see how much finesse Lozada can find here in the 5th round after absorbing a couple of power punches from Cuesta there in the 4th. That was the Mexican's best round of the fight.
Yeah, this has been, I think, a pretty educational fight for Lozada. She's doing some great things with the body work. I like the pressure she's putting on Cuesta. I think she's putting the ring off pretty well, but she hit the clip with that right hand. I think when she goes back and watch the tape of this fight later in the week, she'll see that's an area she needs to improve on.
Yeah, ducking under punches. You know, ducking under punches, staying inside the fire. You know, not always pulling back, not always stepping back, inside fighting. I think that's what Lozada needs to work on a little bit.
It's interesting. Lozada's 35 years old, but this is the 4th fight where she's actually the younger fighter. Nice right cross.
Short, right, compact hooks by Lozada.
These are real power shots.
You see Cuesta turn southpaw again. You never want to turn
Hit
southpaw
that like
into a
button.
natural southpaw. You're just going to be at a more of a disadvantage for the technique.
Lozada's going for it. She wants to get Cuesta out of here.
I think she should. I mean, I say it all the time. Not all wins are not created equal. A decision win is fine. W keeps it moving. If you can get a stoppage win on a card like this, you make a statement in your first 10-round fight.
Hey, with this social media age, it's those 10 to 15-second clips that can really sell your brand. And if you can drop someone and win by dramatic fashion, it helps you in more ways than one.
Look, that's how Amanda Serrano became a star in her own right, knocking women out.
Help you?
So look at that right hand going around. It would have been a little bit shorter, more of a hook type punch, and maybe would have landed on Lozada, but Lozada with the shorter, cleaner punches. You pull back your shots, that's when then, point A to point B, the shorter punches instead of the longer punches that Chris started trying to land.
Round 6 scheduled for 10. Ashley and Lozada undefeated at 4-0, taking on the veteran Paulette Cuesta, who's competing in her 26th professional bout. Dedicating tonight's performance to her late brother, Paul Cuesta, who passed away last month at the age of 39.
Has a strong back. She reaches over, but she doesn't have enough to make that effective. Whenever you do like that style, Cesar Chavez type style, when you hunch over and you're always dipping, you have to have upper body movement. You have to have a strong back. You can't be a stationary target.
Yeah, Paulette Cuesta had won a couple of fights in a row, but she had a stretch a couple of years ago where she lost, or wins, I should say, in 4 out of 5 fights. So she's entered kind of a rough patch in her professional career.
Cuesta's the daughter of a pro boxer.
Cut over the right eye of Cuesta.
Daughter of professional boxer Chico Valenzuela, who famously scored a knockdown against Oscar De La Hoya back in 1993. She's having a tough time right now.
Hey, that is a nasty looking cut above the right eye. And I think that was caused by a punch from Lozada. I didn't see a clash of heads in that exchange.
She's been pawing at her nose, and now she's got a deep gash to deal with.
Lozada, that is like a bullseye.
Oh, big shots. Sergio, you're right. You may be losing this fight, but she's as tough as they come fighting out of Tijuana.
Yes, she is. She's still looping those shots, trying to land something around the guard. See, there you go. She's going to go down swinging. Paulette Cuesta's not going to be going down for anybody. Lozada's got to earn this knockout.
Being told by our producer, Bob Torres, it was a clash of heads that caused the cut. We'll see the replay here momentarily.
Let's also see how the referee calls it in the ring.
Here it is right here, Sergio.
Accidental clash of heads, and that's what happens when you have a lefty and a righty. They're either crossing feet or crossing the direction of where their heads are supposed to go. Here's another look. You can see it totally in that turn. Both these guys are clashing, they're tripping over each other's feet, but there you go. You see the blood flowing to the right side. Pressed up, right away trying to clinch, stop the action, and onslaught of Lozada.
So we're in the 7th round. Chris, what did the referee tell you?
So the referee intimated to me that he is ruling it as a punch. So if this fight is stopped as a result of the cut, it would be a knockout win for Lozada.
That was the wrong decision. Back to you, Todd. I guess we don't have instant replay today.
Intimating. It's like you can't use certain words around you. Imitating. Good job there, my first. Oh, wait a minute, another clash of heads. They're not Lozada getting the worst of it.
Either way, Cuesta changed it all by that headbutt in the corner. All positivity.
That's what I like about Lozada. You know, she has that calm, cool look on her face, poker face.
Did you ever get cut by a clash of heads?
All the time. I think 90% of my cuts were all headbutts, but you know, most of them were my fault because I had a jumping in and out style, you know, and I kept my hands down. You know, that's just the type of fighter I became.
Who had the hardest head?
Alfredo Angulo.
He looks like he's got a hard head.
Neat head.
Is he still doing bare knuckle?
Yeah, doing fine and great on it. He's 3-0 now, bare knuckle. He's made for it. Heavy hands and heavy head.
Jimmy Cuesta just continuing to come forward. Got that nasty cut above the right eye. I think her nose is busted up. We've seen her many times, Sergio, kind of blow that nose out. That's after taking a lot of straight left hands from Lozada. But she is relentless in this fight.
Yeah, that's a big no-no. You're not supposed to breathe out like that on purpose. Shoot out the blood from your nose. It only makes it worse.
Former heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz Jr. returns on September the 4th in Newark. The Destroyer famously shocked Anthony Joshua in 2019, become the first Mexican heavyweight champion. Now, after 2 years away, can Ruiz make the climb back to the top of the division? Find out live on TNT Sports and streaming globally on DAZN. Sergio, we were just looking at a photo of Ruiz on his Instagram. He looks like a light heavyweight right now.
You know, fighters like Ruiz that have made a career, looking chubby like that, they really don't want to lose that much weight because they have fast hands.
You know, if the cut is not in the worst spot, I would think for a boxer, Sergio, it's off to the right. So it's like the blood's probably trickling off the side, not into the eye.
They want right hands like Cuesta and really animated in the corner. They're trying to the straight shots down the pipe. The right hand is going to be landed. So expect Cuesta to start looking for right hands right down the pipe.
Lozada, who we know wants to stoppage, has 3 rounds to do it, 6 minutes.
If she gets the stoppage, she better hurt Cuesta downstairs again, or else I don't see her, knocking her out with shots to the head. We got a tough Mexican in front. We got to soften him up downstairs.
Yeah, the only time that Cuesta's been hurt during this fight has been from the body shots. Everything upstairs, she's taken pretty well.
See, now this is a referee where I'm enjoying his work. He's out of the action. He's not really mixing himself inside of it. He's making his opinion heard. That's the straight man in the ring.
Another good straight left hand. That's been there all round.
Yeah, caught her going out, caught her coming in. Lozada looking to improve on Ellie Scotty's mark of quickly winning a major world championship at 122 pounds. She did that in 7 pro bouts.
I think there's no reason that within the next 2 fights she can't be fighting for a world title. Look, you've got a fighter in Kay Scott that became unified champion in just her 6th pro fight. We see it all the time in women's boxing. Given the pedigree, the age, the skill set of someone like Lozada, I could see her fighting for a vacant title very soon.
I really like her skills. Like her ring generalship, how smooth she is. The only thing I don't like is that she holds her head back with her right hand. But other than that, I see her winning a world championship. Excellent compact combination puncher, and look at she just smooth on her feet. Even late in the fight, she still has a nice bounce on the leg.
We're in beautiful Athens, Georgia. Sergio, your first trip to the Dirty South. How do you enjoy yourself?
I'm loving this city. I'm loving the people, the music, the culture, the food. And you guys haven't been around, and I've been going solo. I'm just enjoying myself by myself.
Hey, you had some soul food yesterday. How'd that sit with you?
Oh, man, it was great. Pascal's, I think it was called. Delicious. Have you ever had collard greens?
No, I can't say I have.
They're delicious.
Nice puppy.
You know, 2 rounds left in Lozado. Clearly up on the scorecards. I would like to see her try to step on the gas here a little bit. I think a stoppage win would look pretty good on the resume against an opponent like this.
Wants to come out hot.
Well, she's got some desperation here. She knows she's down on the scorecard. If she's got any chance to win, it's going to be landing one of those right ends.
Ooh, boy, they're both throwing bombs.
Yeah, but right now, Lozado, giving Weston a chance to land a bomb. You're ahead and win so easily on the back of the boxing. Why do you want to exchange with a fighter that doesn't have a chance unless you're winging a winner?
Well, you want to knock her out?
Well, yeah, but you got to knock her out in a calculated fashion, not exchanging with her. Break her down like you've been doing. She's loaded up on the left hand now, and they go with Lozado. That's the reason you see him clashing heads again and bleeding. What's bleeding again? This is where Lozado needs to be popping those jabs.
Well, maybe
Just on the outside, not giving Costa any kind of confidence.
Stop holding. Clean break. Stop holding. In our last fight, the referee deducted 2 points for holding against Caroline Barrett. Usually just waved the fight off. This referee being much more verbal and not taking points off.
Good shot. See, goes left hand to the body, or right hand to the body, but there was no shift. So that's what I mean by angles. Lozado's not getting an angle on Cuesta. She's staying right in front of her. So that means Cuesta can brace herself for what's coming, whether that's the right side. But it's no surprise. You got to surprise tough fighters like this.
Yeah, well, Cuesta's showing a lot of heart. Big body shots absorbed early in the fight. That head clash has caused a lot of bleeding, but she's still in there firing away, Sergio, showing that Tijuana toughness. And there's the quote. And if you don't believe she's the quote, just ask her. She'll tell you all about it. There's a man with a saxophone back there. So, is that your favorite Kenny G? Is he performing tonight, Chris?
I don't know if that's Kenny G, but it might be Andre Jarrell standing near her. Andre Jarrell, one of the new additions to Team Shields, who has been bringing some of the power into the game. John David Jackson wrapping her hands. Long-time trainer Andre Jarrell has been there to tell her, hey, you got power. 18 wins, only 3 by knockout. But he's been emphasizing the fact that she can be stopping people. He's been telling her all week, you can stop Kay Scott tonight.
I love a quote that Jarrell said, that speed is getting in the way of Claressa Shields. She needs to slow things down and worry about the right punch, not the problem of punching.
Out here at the State Farm Arena in downtown ATL, the home of the Atlanta Hawks.
Last round, ladies, last round.
How are the Hawks going to be this season, sir, Chris?
Playoff team?
All right. Clean break, stop holding. Fight. Final round. And you know Cuesta's going down swinging.
Stop holding, fight out.
Fighting in memory of her late brother, Paul Cuesta.
Beautiful shot right there. See, this is what I'm talking about. Lozado can be something.
Oh, nice shot from Cuesta.
Can be something special. Not only a champion early in her career, but an attraction on her part. She has a swag. She's a knockout. She's popping a punch.
And again, the educational aspect of this is real. You've got a woman named Cuesta that is still coming forward. 10th round is still coming forward. You can learn a lot if you're Lozado. for going up against an opponent that fights like this.
Not only coming forward, Chris, but I think winning the round.
Well, I think the last two, we've seen maybe a little bit of fatigue set in on Lozada. You can see her with the mouth open a little bit, breathing kind of heavy, whereas Cuesta is still coming forward.
Yeah, Chris, a lot of credit to Paulie Cuesta, 35 years old, still pushing. Trying to make it a physical fight, trying to push the action against really someone that's a little bit more experienced.
Cuesta's in shape, a little bit outdone by a superior boxer.
Cuesta putting on a really great show of toughness and determination here tonight. Nice combination there from Lozada, who's still got a few more seconds to work with here in the last round. Now talking a little trash, and boy, she might get a leg something. Cuesta backs against the ropes. What a final salvo for the Puerto Rican Ashley Ann Lozada.
That's how you turn heads, and this is what you want to do when you're a fighter. And not only a handful of fights under your belt, but chasing that championship.
I'm back.
Stand down, and that's what I think she just did tonight.
Sergio, obviously,
Yeah, she was her ass. Old girl with the black right there. Yeah, she down on the real ass.
going through all those emotions.
Now, Cuesta, she could have easily pulled out of this fight with a heavy heart. But instead, she fought her heart out all the way to the end, bleeding, but not discouraged. And I mean, that's your Mexican spirit and heart. Credit to Lozada for hanging in there, keeping up, and outboxing.
I just subbed to your page, Ron.
And now, you mentioned the name, Chris. Maybe Lozada could one day fight Sky Nicholson for her version of the 122-pound championship. She has an amateur win over Sky Nicholson from back in the day.
Yeah, I think we're probably a year, maybe 2 years away, maybe one more weight class away from that type of fight. But there are 3 vacant titles at 122. This was for a minor piece of WBA's 122-pound championship. I would love to see Lozada at some point in the next 6 months fight for and potentially win a title. And then maybe we can start talking about a big unification fight against Sky Nicholson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as if Halloween wasn't scary enough, Canelo Alvarez is back in the ring in a super middleweight blockbuster October 31st, taking on undefeated knockout artist Christian Mbili, who puts his WBC title on the line, live and exclusively on his own as part of your ultimate subscription. Who won this fight? Ashley Ann Lozada, according to 84% of you. Although I bet Cuesta won at least a round or two as we turn it into the ring and Thomas Tribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Mike Ross scores it 99-91. And both judges, Troy Staney and Eric Gilbert, are in agreement. They both scored the same 100-90. Paul, for your winner by unanimous decision. And now the WBA Gold Women's Super Bantamweight Champion, Ashley La Máquina Lozada.
Sergio, what grade would you give La Máquina?
A solid A, man. I really liked everything. Other than her pulling back and getting hit. But you're going to get hit in the fight. I love the fact that she was in there with a tough Mexican with 25 fights, a lot of experience under her belt, obviously determined, fighting with a heavy heart. Lozada was still able to capitalize and shine.
I think her solid plus. Very good performance. I thought she could have done a little bit more to the body in the second half of this fight, but she closed the show really strong. I think there are big things ahead for Lozada.
All right, let's jump into our highlights as Ashley Ann Lozada competing as a pro for just the 5th time.
Yeah, Lozada hurt Cuesta really early in this fight with that left hand downstairs, continued targeting down there, but never doubling up. I think that's what maybe there's a little bit of change in Lozada and they start doubling up on those shots. You can see Cuesta lowering those heads as soon as she got popped downstairs. So Lozada will start headhunting, and then they collect in the body. Doubling, tripling up body shots going on both sides, getting an angle. These are all things that Ashley Ann Lozada will pick up as a professional. So look, I love this. Even towards the end of the fight, a bloody and bruised and battered Cuesta still going for the stoppage when clearly you're winning the fight. That's what I like to see, the fighting spirit all the way to the end.
So Ashley Lozada has improved to 5-0 at the age of 35 years old. The clock is ticking. You know she wants to get back in the ring as soon as possible. Let's look at our CompuBox numbers from this, our second fight of the main card. Total punches landed. Look at the bottom stat, 130 for Lozada compared to just 55 for Paulette Cuesta. Coming up next, we're about to get a little feisty. These two guys do not like each other. They fought 3 times as an amateur, and that fight is coming up next. Troy Isley versus Joseph Hicks. It's our co-main event of the evening. It was Joseph Hicks who won 2 of those 3 fights, and Troy Isley said, no. One of them was a highway rivalry, and I'm going to get back my win tonight in blood. It's the middleweight showdown live from the State Farm Arena. You're watching Saturday Fight Night live on the show.
Man, I think this Claressa Shields fight gonna be kind of awesome, man. That Ray J fight, that shit was bullshit, but it was funny as hell, boy. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Them other 2 fights, the security guard and Big Boy, that was a good fight. Then they had some girl named Tashiki, I think her name was, and Big Legs. Big Legs won. That was a good fight for them to be amateur females. That was a hell of a fight. I would like to see. I ain't gonna lie. I want to see Ray J and Orlando fight again. That shit was fun. I think if Orlando do a little bit more training, he could have beat that nigga, man. Ray J was bullshitting out there, man. I don't know how much money they got paid. Let me see if I can Google it. ChatGPT gonna tell me. Let me go to ChatGPT. How much did? Oh my bad. How much did? Okay, what the fuck? How much did Orlando Brown and Ray J get paid to fight tonight?
Yeah, so as of right now, no official details have been announced. Promotions haven't released figures, and there's a lot of online speculation, but nothing verified. Based on similar celebrity boxing matches, estimates usually range from tens of thousands, low 6 figures per fighter. But those are just estimates, so we'll have to wait for official numbers after the fact.
So there's no estimated pay that ChatGPT said there's no estimated earnings for that. So let me see. How much did Claressa Shields get paid to fight tonight?
Let me check. All right. If you're asking about Orlando Brown and Ray J, the official payout hasn't been publicly confirmed. Celebrity boxing matches like that.
Oh, I ain't saying it.
Tens of thousands.
How much did Claressa Shields get paid to fight in tonight's fight? Why I keep saying them? I can go to Google. Fuck that. How much did Clarissa Shields get paid for tonight's fight? Oh, it ain't been publicly disclosed. It's a Clarissa Shields' exact official purse for tonight's fight against K. Scott has not been publicly disclosed, but it falls under multiple fight deals with Salter Promotions and Win Records, which guarantees her a minimum of $8 million, averaging around $2 million per fight over the life of the contract, plus performance bonuses and a large upfront signing bonus. Hmm. Hey, what's up, Monty Bubble? We over here finna get ready to watch the fight. Man, you should have seen that Orlando Brown and what you call it fight. Bullshit, but it was funny. I watched that again. That shit was crazy. But I ain't gonna lie, the celebrity fights, they was pretty good. You had one knockout, and then you had one decision with the two females. Big Lex won the decision. So it was some good fights. Appreciate you for the show. But they be trying to sell that shit.
Went sideways, they're going to settle their differences in the ring tonight.
All right, cannot wait for this one from the Dirty South. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the middleweight.
Atlanta, Georgia, that's the Dirty South.
Troy Isley, 27 years old, 5'10", with a 69.5-inch reach. You can see the experience. Isley's been in there 33 more rounds and has three more rather, professional bouts. Let's now welcome to the ring our
and then I forgot, I don't know who the other girl rapping was, but the other one brought out the Big Lex brought out the girl named Trim.
So here comes Hicks Isley.
Yeah, he got on the same damn movement on Big Lex.
I've always been better than him, and I'm going to prove I'm still better than him tonight. Look, they know each other from the amateurs. This is a man in Hicks that also has over 100 amateurs.
Hey, what up, everything in the motherfucking beautiful?
Because they know each other so well. I had a great camp in Las Vegas. I like his knife. He has a good one-two, long jab. Very tall, good pop behind that punch. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive, a little more physical. And on the outside with that jab, it's not going to be enough to keep him motivated. Troy Isley off.
They saw that loss on the resume of Joseph Hicks to Lexington Tucson. That's the big question coming in. Was that loss a reflection of who Joseph Hicks is, or was it, as he says, Wade never should have done? He dropped down to 154 for that fight against Tucson. He also had to deal with the IBF rehydration clause, and he says he was completely drained going into that fight. Now, we hear fighters talking
about his family to the ring.
Was undefeated
I hope that nigga win, because boy, you get knocked out from the dog, but
being a player in the 160-pound division. This is the fight where we find out if Joseph.
boy, you get knocked out in front of your daughter, boy. That's some boy. I don't know how your daughter gonna look at you. I don't know how. Say, man, hey, boy, that one thing you don't want to do is fight in front of your kids and you get your ass knocked out, boy. But I guess you got. I mean, my thing is, did he explain to your daughter, your daddy can get his ass whooped? I don't win all the fights, baby. Like, she probably know this, because I don't even know this nigga.
Middleweight is exactly where he should be. I believe that he would be hydrated for that fight with Freddie Tucson. Now let's welcome to the ring the undefeated the Transformer Iceland.
So just to single out, Tito Mercado was supposed to be in the co-main event tonight, but not one but two opponents failed to make weight, so he out. YG, the rapper on the left, was supposed to walk him out. So Troy Isley said, hell, walk me out, man. Let's go. Yeah, a little extra flavor for Troy Isley. Look, there's a lot to like about Troy Isley. Undefeated, former U.S. Olympian, good skills, decent. In 5 years as a professional, he has just not been able to break through. 2024, that was a pretty good year for Troy Isley. He beat Javier Martinez, he beat Tyler Howard. 2025, not so much. Just one fight and a pretty nasty split for top rank at the end of the year. With Salida, Isley believes he is reclaiming some of that lost fights in the last 3 months and an opportunity here in the co-main event against a familiar opponent in Joseph Hicks to show everyone that he belongs on the list of the best middleweights in the world.
According to the fan zone, 57% believe Troy Isley will remain undefeated tonight. A lot of motivation for Isley. Nicknamed
Troy Isley.
He's got Megatron on the back. Sergio, I know you're a bigger fan of Bumblebee or the Transformers. I have no idea who you're talking about. Optimus Prime? Anybody? Yes. All right. Sorry. Sorry for using any cold words. I didn't watch much since like you were managed when you were young. Like 4 major motion pictures as well. Well, listen, I was a fan of
Who is Troy Isley fighting tonight?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event. It is scheduled for 10 rounds in the middleweight division. Brought to you by Salida Promotions in partnership with.
Oh, this is gonna be a good fight. Isley 16-0. He's 13-1. So he's been knocked out from his kids
Along with
before.
our great sponsor, OnlyFans, sanctioned by the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission Executive Director Matt Woodruff. The judges are Nola Oliver, Pat Cronin, and Alex Marin. Our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Antonio Mohan. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing orange with blue and weighed in at an even 160 pounds. Coming to us from Grand Rapids, Michigan, he breaks a professional record of 12 wins, just one defeat, 7 of his 12 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joseph Shug and his opponent across the ring in this co-main event. He is fighting out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing blue, red, and silver, and weighed in officially at 160.2 pounds. Hailing from Alexandria, Virginia, he had a stellar amateur career, becoming a 2020 Olympian, and now as a professional. Undefeated, 16 wins, 6 of his 16 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the current WBA Continental USA champion, Troy, the Transformer Isley.
Oh, YG got that case against that rapper, that conspiracy of murder against that rapper. That's why he took it down. Because that's in Atlanta. It makes sense.
The rules of the dress room, obey my instructions at all times. Shake right here, low blow is going to be right here. Low blow is going to be right here. Coach Love, go back and please fight. Thanks, gentlemen.
That's the look of two guys that hate each other, Sergio. I see it with you and Chris Mannix every day.
Well, listen, there's a little bit of respect with them because they actually fought before, went mano a mano. So, yes, there's a little bit of hate and respect blended in, but they both want to outshine each other. This is the moment to happen once that bell rings. You ready?
This is the Transporter versus Shug. Joseph Hicks, he's in the teal and orange. Isley in the solid blue.
And Sergio, I know you said the jab is not going to be enough for Joseph Hicks, but that's what they want to use all throughout this fight. They've got a big reach advantage, and they want to keep this fight at the long range. They believe at the mid-range is when they get into some trouble. But if the fight's at distance, they believe they can pick Isley apart.
Well, listen, he does start slow, and if Isley doesn't pick up the pace and force Hicks to fight early, then a jab will be enough.
Big left hook, a sweep.
Don't get beat up in front of your kids, man.
Hicks is going to need upper body movement and punch at the shoulders, those big shoulders of Hicks. And get up, stay stationary, then you can start sweeping the punches around the guard.
See Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Crawford there ringside getting a good look at this one.
Two quotes to come see a quote.
That's a fantasy matchup we'd like to see. Crawford versus Floyd. Who would you take it out with, Chris Mannix?
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, Todd.
Sergio, you'll touch it.
Nobody beats Floyd Mayweather Jr. And that match has had everything. Boxing ability, he got two phases of his career where he was a foot offensive fighter and brilliant boxer towards the end. 50-0 for a reason.
I'll tell you what I say this way. At 135, I'd take Floyd. At 147, I'd take Terrence Crawford.
Throwing some heavy shots here in round one.
Like old school nigga, like you see a pause or something.
Isley to actually come forward a little bit more aggressively. That way you can run him into the
Nigga had some money in the world.
The aggression when you just saw Santos came crashing in, just out voluming kicks through the first half of their fight. That's not the approach that Ice is taking at this point. Again, the range is important to watch in this fight. This is exactly where Joseph Hicks wants to fight. If this fight goes 10 rounds, fighting at this distance, he's going to be happy pulling out a decision.
So this is not the range that Isley wants to fight at. He needs more upper body movement. He needs to be more explosive with his movement upstairs. Or else it's just going to be a target for that jab. And as long as you let a fighter like Hicks be comfortable backing up, boxing with that jab, he's going to be able to take the way this fight goes. And that's not the fight that Isley needs.
Referee telling Isley to watch the kidneys. Isley over 150 amateur wins, represented the U.S. at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, lost in the round of 16.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know who they is, motherfucker. But they just started, both of them. They done had about 15 fights apiece in their professional career. He undefeated right there, though. Well, this nigga walked out with his whole family. This nigga walked out with his whole family. That nigga got one knock, he got one loss.
First round, just you're throwing it down. You want 7 minutes of heavyweight. Okay. Yeah, you want to fight with your feet then. Good job, guys.
Good advice from the corner of Troy Isley as the voice of Lamont Peterson, former welterweight champion, who's taken over as the head trainer for Troy Isley with the last couple of fights. Isley parting ways with fights earlier. Lamont Peterson says he only trains 2 fighters, and Troy Isley is one of them.
Reading early on in
this fight, Sergio?
Both of them actually did well in that first round. I think that Hicks did well on the outside with his jab, trying to dictate the way this fight's going to go. That's going to be a boxing fight. I think Isley had his moments when he was trying to counter over the top, but he doesn't find range. But anyway, it was a good round. Both of them had some good moments. But I think he needs to get that first foot in the door. So he needs to go some closer with that left foot or he lands something strong. He's going to land that right hand. There's two right hands that came up short because his front foot wasn't close enough to land.
Straight right. He's going from here to the foot to the legs of Troy Isley.
Yeah, it's kind of backing up. You can't get hit that cleanly by that long of a puncher.
Yeah, this is live, man. This is live.
Both of the knees and the legs.
Jared Lamont Peterson preaching defense after that last round. That's exactly why they don't want to get hit with that kind of counter shot.
Yeah, I think she after this fight. I think for real after this fight right here.
That's a long frame. And look at that, how he keeps checking over the top. Hicks is a smart fighter. I think he has better timing and better counter punches than I do. I think probably slightly stronger, but he's not utilizing it right now.
You can feel the animosity between these two with each landed punch.
Jab, the single jab is not going to work against a better jabber. The longer
This is
jab.
what you call an undercard.
As an Olympian, you would think that he was accustomed to being a great jabber, double, tripling it up, finding different ways to jab and land that right hand. But right now he's posing in front of Hicks. He should be popping that jab, doubling and tripling it up. You don't always have to bring back that jab to the chin. You can leave it out, leave the short jabs coming in just to sneak that front foot in the door.
Isley should have that right hand.
Yeah, he did in the back of the head. Yeah, he did in the back of the head.
Joseph Hicks, even though he has a right stance, he does have a solid foundation. He goes and balances the punch. I think that it's all fighters.
You know, knock your ass out. He's going to try to come out here. He's going to look
Their
at
legs are far apart. They like to carry that power with that right hand. Hicks gets away with it.
So Hicks started the round with a beautiful straight right hand, but really didn't get to do much after that.
Well, that's how he fights. It's forced to fight. Boxing is learning quiet rounds.
Get the light boat saddle, man. I think we're ready to see it go next.
With that right hand, you know that. We're going to stick with plan A for now. We're going to stay long. Every once in a while, you're loading up. I think you got a little power happy after I think you got too power happy with that right hand, is what they told Joseph Hicks, and I think it's the right advice. So look at that shot right there, right on the tip of the chin. Landing cleanly. You can see the right hand extend nicely. There you go. It didn't even extend all the way, but why didn't Hicks jump on him when he sees that the knees buckle? That's what surprised me, but that's what Joseph Hicks does. He doesn't have the temperament of a finisher. That's his MO.
Interesting to hear in the corner, Joseph Hicks say the jab feels off. I don't usually hear that from a fighter talking to his corner like that.
Sergio, a lot of times you praise fighters for when they hurt someone, just being patient and not rushing in, but it seemed like Hicks was too patient and should have moved in more.
Yeah, and I might disagree with the reporter, but I like the way his jab's looking. It's early in the round. You're in there with a solid, undefeated, strong opponent. It's going to take some time to really start landing and gain that shot.
You okay?
The referee's southern accent there. Hey, man, you can't do that, all right? Just don't do it no more. All right, take forward. Honestly, Brandon,
Oh.
Look at Hicks. Excuse me, Isley coming in.
A little more urgency from Isley after these first two rounds.
Now, this is how you go after a guy.
And this is the way you got to fight if you're true athlete. You got to pick up the pace and be a little bit more explosive.
Wisely said, listen, Mitch knows exactly what he's getting tonight. He knows what's coming. And right there, he brought it after getting clipped in round 2. And nicely on the front foot.
I'll tell you, watching a lot of Isley tape, he's a bigger puncher than his record suggests. He has 6 knockouts on his resume. He's a hard puncher. He's hurt a lot of guys in his career. Short of knockout win his last time out. I think he's real confident at 160 pounds.
Talk about a little pressure. You got Bud Crawford sitting there watching you. It's like being on American Idol with Simon Cowell and there's Floyd Mayweather. 1A and 1B.
You got to get a little bit of extra juice if you're a fighter and you look down ringside and see 2 of the greatest of all time sitting there watching you fight.
Sergio, when you were the contender final and all the celebrities were there, did that make you a little extra nervous?
Actually,
maybe we can go. Where your family at, sir?
Junior would invite me to places that I didn't introduce you to the night club. He invite me because he would I said myself to give me a dad, man. Junior's always been that guy. He's always humble and yeah, man. You
heard that, Chris? Floyd always wanted to hang out with Sergio.
He invited me.
I was going to say, when he invited you out, did you say no? I'm going to stay in the read?
I said yes every single time.
Let's get a little ugly here.
Oh, he's trying to hit this.
He's landed some big shots this round.
You can see Hicks is trying to time with a right jab. I don't think that's as good as the jab and the 1-2 that he's been doing. You don't want to swing and check against a shorter fighter.
A reminder that next Saturday we will be in Las Vegas, right down the street from the Sphere. Will be at T-Mobile Arena. Hey, Chris, Backstreet Boys in town next week. If you want to check it out, it's Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez, the WBA welterweight title. On DAZN pay-per-view as part of your DAZN Ultimate Package.
I like that you say the Backstreet Boys right now to look at me, but I can show you the text of you telling me, hey, the Backstreet Boys are playing at the Sphere.
Why did I tell you?
I don't know. I want to go.
It's like a Make-A-Wish Foundation. I want to take you out to a good time.
You know what? I used to take her to stuff.
Anyway, do you want to go see Backstreet Boys?
You already know the answer to that.
You would go to
Hell no.
Ready? I'm talking real quick. Ready? Round 4.
I know there's a lot of animosity. It's here. I know he's in the back of the head. I know he's in the kid. And Holden's not going to damage him like Holden would. I mean, Holden's not going to damage him like he's in the back of the head with. So I understand that. What are we saying here? Okay. We are keeping it clean. Hey guys, we gotta keep it clean. I know this is animosity. Sure, back and forth.
You can do this when you're in the school.
But it's holding. But I told him if he keeps holding, he's gonna get a point as well. Okay. So let's keep it clean, guys. Okay.
The state of Georgia, these referees, at least on this main card, they have not distinguished themselves tonight.
And this is what happens whenever you come to a city and the state doesn't really get that many good fights.
Oh, is there going to be a knockdown? It looks like a slip. Good call by the referee there. I'll stick up these Georgia referees. Sounds a good dad.
Oh, I missed it. I was looking at the text.
I went to school here. My mom lives in Atlanta. Leave us alone. Doing fine. You go to church with me tomorrow, Sergio?
No.
Well, both these guys looking for the knockout. That's pretty obvious.
You can see that he's got the respect of Isaac because Isaac's not trying to, really get aggressive.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy too, man.
Triple his way in. He's not trying to really use his strength on the inside. He has the respect by that long jab that hits.
Lands for Isley and another one. How do you have it scored through 3 rounds?
Yeah, I've got 2 rounds to 1 in favor of Joseph Hicks. I thought he squeezed out the first couple of rounds. That second round on the back of that straight right hand, that was the best punch of the round. Much better round in the third for Troy Eyes, who started to assert himself more on the inside. You can tell when he devolves into more of a fight. It favors Troy Eyes. It's more of a clinical boxing match on the outside. That's how Joseph Hicks wants to win.
I agree. And I think I'd much rather be in the position of Joseph Hicks on the outside, just controlling everything with that long stick and setting up with that right hand. So he doesn't really need to be hooking with a shorter fighter than Isaac. No, with a strong hook, type puncher like that. And if you hide that, what's the good things? You want to try to get hits to fight on anything. You can't just let them control it and get at that range. You need quick feints, you need upper body feints, you need, a little bit more aggression, explosiveness. But just standing in front of him like this, it's just going to be, it's not going to be a good look for Isaac.
There's some of the fight stats so far. 61 power shots thrown by Isaac compared to 36 for Hicks, but Hicks landing at a higher percentage.
We call this posing in front of your opponent. Whenever you're just in front of them, just burying them. You want to actually break them off.
Off balance was Hicks, but either way, looks good for Isley.
Yeah, fighting around.
You're damn that, bro. You're not that.
Off-balance shot. That can make a difference. That there, too. Caught by the glove of Joseph Hicks, but good left hand by Troy Isley.
You can see that Isaac strong with that left hook, but Hicks had that right hand up and it just ricocheted off his glove. That's just, based on good technique.
Coming up next, it is our main event, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the champion, Kay Scott, the unified middleweight champion of the world. Sergio, what does she got to do tonight?
She's got to do a lot against the punch. She's going to need speed, she's going to need timing, footwork, with all that advantage shield. So she's going to have to be physical. Use your size, use that reach advantage that you have, and run her into shots. Because that woman right there will be coming forward on the front foot, looking for the knockout.
You better not get knocked out while you out here doing all this business.
You wanted saxophone, you got saxophone. Marissa Shields loves to spotlight any more, Chris, than any athlete in any sport.
I think we've seen a lot of fighters like that in boxing, including one of them sitting ringside, Floyd Mayweather.
She never misses a chance to do an interview, be in the bright lights, on television. She hypes up every fight, does such a great job getting people to take notice of her and her accomplishments, which is why this is a packed arena tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
This job of
Right.
building this fan base in the same way that Floyd Mayweather did a tremendous job of building this urban fan base where she can go to Michigan and sell out, put 10,000 plus in State Farm Arena. This has been a decade's worth of hard work on Claressa Shields and her team to get her to this point.
Jabs there from Hicks.
Isaac kind of doubling up on that strong jab of his, but strength is not going to be enough. You're going to need some speed and foot speed and foot speed in order to get past that long jab and range. This is not the range that it needs to be at. That jab right there needs to be doubled up, shortened up, and alternate the jab. You can alternate the jab with your thumb up, thumb down, flick the jab to the chest. I mean, you got all alternate that. If you just have one jab is right, it's going to be enough.
I agree though, sir. Did not get much back though from Joseph Hicks. Isley struggled to close the distance at times. We haven't seen much from Hicks except for the occasional jab coming back.
Yeah, because you would think that he knows he's in control for winning this fight.
I don't know. Pretty even Steven.
I'm ready for this fight to be over with, y'all.
Fights. He allows opponents to think he's a slow starter.
Shakur Stevenson there as well on the phone. He's sitting to his right is Keyshawn Davis, who declined to fight Devin Haney, much to the chagrin of the boxing public. What do you make of that situation, Chris? I don't love it because we don't get a potentially great fight between Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney. It's definitely disappointing.
I love the fact that Devin Haney he looks like a bully. You know, they were calling him Debo from Friday. You know, like he's a bully. You know, trying to fight all the champions. And for Keyshawn to not want to fight, pull out of the fight because the money, it's not a good look for him.
Well, Top Rank, I believe it's Paul Moretti. We said, listen, the guy was begging for the fight against Devin Haney. We got it for him, and then he turned it down.
There's a corner. There you go. See, they're talking about the referee getting involved. Any punches? One point. Any punches?
He's not hitting the back hard in that spot. That is another egregious call by the referee. You take a point away at this stage of a competitive fight. Stay out of it, man. Stay out of these fights. Let the two guys decide who wins.
Not only that, but he also warned Hicks that he's going to take away a point from him as well. It's just too much.
Chris, I understand that you have some breaking news that you're about to post or just posted. Yeah, I'm told that Emmanuel Navarrete and Oshaki Foster have agreed to terms for 130-pound title unification fight. The fight is slated for October 24th, and it will be at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Both these guys are world champions now. It's unclear if all three belts are going to be on the line. The WBO has ordered Navarrete to fight Charlie Suarez. They're still working that out. But if he is ordered to face Suarez, my understanding is that Navarrete will drop that belt, and it will still be a two-belt unification against Foster. One way or the other, we are going to get Navarrete against Foster on October 24th in San Antonio.
We want that fight, and I'm glad that it's happening in Texas. We got Vaquero and Navarrete against Oshaki Foster, champion versus champion. With the Foster match, that's going to be a championship fight against the best, fighting the best. And one of the best places you can have it. San Antonio.
Well, who do you give the edge to in that matchup?
Man, I love the way I've been seeing him. Maybe slightly faster, but Navarrete with those long, powerful arms, he can hurt you from any angle. Type of fight where someone gets knocked out late or Foster can be in control.
I mean, both these guys are in their prime, both peaking kind of at the right time right now.
Shot to my eyes, he finally had a good shot.
Yeah, Navarrete looks incredible against Sugar Nunez in that knockout win in Glendale, Arizona. Chris, how do you have this one scored as we continue to go back to you over and over again? You're on a big night. It's a competitive fight. 47-47, the 9-9 round with a point deduction for Troy Eyes. I actually think Sergio Troy Eyes has done the better work over these last few rounds. He's struggled at times to get inside, but the power punches are being thrown and landed by Troy Eyes. It's a competitive fight through 5, but I've got it 47-47. Just joining us, these guys had a little pushing and shoving match after the weigh-ins yesterday. They faced off 3 times as amateurs, Hicks winning 2, Isley winning 1, but Isley says he'll go to his grave saying that he got robbed and promises to prove he's the better man tonight. But it's been a very close competitive contest. That's what I'm talking about here in this round, where Isley's landing the better shots. Hicks is just kind of hanging back, focusing on that jab. Isley's not landing everything, but when he gets inside, he's putting his combinations together.
And even those jabs downstairs now, he's sweeping away with that left hook. Just barely came ashore with that right hand. But yeah, I see what you're seeing now. I mean, I think in this round, definitely winning easily. I don't think Hicks is doing enough to keep him off now. I just think early from the 3rd round on, the momentum changed. I think it was a strategy from Isley changed. He closed the
distance, made this more of a mid-range fight, and has been more physical, whereas Hicks, it's just one shot, one jab, and out.
Unleashing that right hand like he was earlier, so that's credit to what he's feeling coming back from Troy IJ as well. So he should be posing too. Joseph Hicks should be taking that jab, popping that jab. That's setting up that right hand. See, look, IJ already caught the timing of it. You see how no respect for the right hand. Now he catches the left hand and he counters with the same left. Very athletic counter there by IJ.
Isaac, good physical condition as well, continuing to have head movement, moving forward, throwing more punches. Nice little counter right there from Hicks on the way out. So Hicks is maybe going to have to go to plan B here shortly, as Isley seems like he's getting the edge now. Just announced on September 19th, Mexican star and interim WBC super lightweight champion Isaac Pitbull Cruz puts his title on the line against Puerto Rican contender Nestor Bravo, live from Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California, and live on the global home of boxing. So, love seeing Pitbull Cruz fight.
Winning this fight. Don't stand there and wait for him to punch. I just want you to slide. Use your jab.
You sound pretty comfortable in that corner of Hicks, Sergio. You agree with that?
Oh, I mean, I think me and Dennis have been a little bit on the opposite sides of each other. I like the work that Joseph Hicks is doing, even though I think he does have his moments. I'd much rather be Hicks. I want Isaac to be a little bit more aggressive. You know, he's making it difficult.
Are you sure he's on the right side? You don't think Isley's being aggressive enough?
I want to see more aggression.
Okay.
I mean, I think the second half of the last 3 rounds has been a little bit more physical, but the first 3 rounds was all just behind the jab. Nice right hand, he was able to hurt him, knock him early.
Don't forget, Troy Isley had a point deducted for kidney punches.
Like that might come back to haunt him, you know, in a close fight.
Idea just missed for Troy Isley. Fights out of Alexandria, Virginia.
Isley already coming up short with a nice right hand. It's a really short right hand that's going right by the chin of Hicks. He lands that shot, it's going to be trouble for Joseph Hicks.
Isley believes he'll look good enough tonight where one of the champions, he says he wants Denzel Bentley, Carlos Adames, or Irislandy Lara to fight him next. Yeah, I think the winner of this fight is obviously going to be in a decent position, probably more of a title eliminator position afterwards, but it's definitely a step forward type of fight for either guy. Waiting to get behind something here. It's a packed house and has been for quite some time. All eyes will be on our main event, which is up next. Claressa Shields fighting for the first time outside of Michigan in 4 years.
You see Hicks catching that hard right hand of Isley, but he didn't come back with that check left hand that he normally comes with. Fighter. Both these guys are smart in different ways. Hicks is a little more clever, in my opinion, but he just doesn't have a temperament of attacking, of controlling, of being physical, of being getting out of his element. And I think that's the gear that he's missing. That's the reason he already has, you know, a loss. Just
Good jab there, though, from Joseph Hicks.
Isley's willing to take some chances, because he can force Hicks to make mistakes. Instead of just loading up on one shot like that.
Good body shot. Haven't seen a lot of those.
There you go. That's what he's missing.
Going back down again. He liked it. That can provide a new wrinkle as Hicks starts to worry about what's coming downstairs.
You know, it's rare for a fighter to throw a 1-2 to the body, but in this case, Troy can himself that position, throw a straight line two right down the long torso of Hicks and get something going. Controlling the action. You're not going to overshoot the shot.
Oh no, man.
Hicks thinks he's in control. Isley thinks he's in control.
That's the disagreement that I think me and Lennox are seeing. I mean, I like the work that Hicks is doing on the high side, but I let's get inside and that's a good shot. Even if it's on the glove, they're still landing on Hicks.
All right, Chris, your scorecard.
Yeah, I've got 67, 65 in favor of Troy Isley. Look, I agree, Sergio, that Hicks is able to land some good counter jabs. He's at times the ring general out there, but the pressure is consistently being applied on Troy Isley, and I think the more effective punching, especially the last 3 or 4 rounds, in favor of Troy Isley. So I've got him with slightly.
Okay, would you call this pressure that Isley's doing right now?
I don't know. It's not posture, okay, but I'm feeling nothing is coming back.
Nothing needs to come back. It's not really pushing the action. It's just it's the ring.
The crowd's in agreement. They don't like it.
It's definitely a cagey fight. I think punches aren't being landed, just like in effective. Exchange for Troy Isley.
And I like the there was a little short head hook that landed inside as well.
We need to replay it back up.
Box numbers. Isley's been much more active. He's thrown about 90 more punches. But as far as the landed shots, Hicks much more active.
This is a draw type fight. You know, if no one's really going to take the lead, take chances. This is going to be a draw or whoever throw more punches, depending on what the judges like. The accuracy or the quality. And yes, judges on the eye test always want the guy coming forward. That's definitely Troy Isley. There's only one man coming forward.
So right hand, but Isley's not getting there a moment.
Took by Isley, but it was caught by Hicks again. Hook doesn't phase it. It's a right hand. It's a short right hand that Isley's been trying to land. You don't need to block. You see that Hicks is a rifle.
You can see the smirk on Hicks' face. He thinks he's getting the better of him. The judges are saying. Well, former middleweight world champion and our colleague here at the Zone, Derek Barker, sets off on an epic journey of endurance to raise funds for suicide prevention following the death of his friend and former 2-weight world champion Ricky Hatton. On August 19th, he sets off from Edinburgh, Scotland, with over 1,200 miles to cover. He's going to cycle and swim his way through Europe, reach Morocco and North Africa. You can support him by donating via JustGiving.com. Good for Derek Barker.
the right side off.
Joseph Hicks corner talking like he's 8 rounds to 1 or 7 rounds to 1. It's just a fifth bizarre. There's no enthusiasm. There's no go get them. There's no we need these last 2 rounds. I'm not hearing it, Sergio.
Because that's not their MO. That's not how they train. That's not the chemistry they have. If you watch their fights before, that's how that core works. That's the reason I was talking about Hicks. If you don't push him to fight, this is the gear he's gonna fight. He's comfortable winning 5 rounds or keeping it close. That's his style.
But why would he change if the man he trusts to train him day in and day out is telling him he's winning this fight and he's doing great?
You just gotta put your trust in the man that has shown you how to fight.
Maybe he's right. Maybe Hicks is well ahead of the score.
We're gonna find out. Right now, I think I've been thinking about the spots where Hicks has been doing well. There's been more spots for Hicks than I've seen, in my opinion.
Chris, I think Isaac's been better these last 2 rounds. You saw some of those punch stats. Punch stats are not everything. The number of punches landed is right about equal. The number of punches thrown vastly favors Troy Isley. And if you're watching some of these exchanges, yes, Hicks is getting some of his licks in, but I think the better combinations are being landed by Isley.
The combinations, yes, the single play shots, like the right hand that just tried to run out like his. And Isaac's not going to come back and make it so 2 or 3 shots. Even if they're not landing, then 1 shot is enough.
That was a good counter shot by Hicks right there.
But again, if you're a judge, you don't see the CompuBox numbers. Some of those punches Isley's throwing may look like they connect. So you got a guy who's throwing 100 or so more punches. It's a close round. You maybe give it to the busier guy.
Either way, Styles makes fights, and this fight is not as strategic and easy as we have another.
I've heard a lot of moves. Nice jab there from Isley. Completely content to fight going backwards.
When he gets forced to fight, Hicks gets out of the shell. But it's only when he gets pushed in that position. Other than that, he goes back to the strips.
Oh, good right hand from Isley. Like this round, Hicks has had some success, but Isley's literally chasing him around the ring. Remember back, a point was deducted from Isley. Will that play a factor? As we have 1 round to go.
Get the stoppage here. Keep the rhythm, keep the expression, all right? All right? Good job. You're doing great. So proud of you, man. To win this fight. Last round. Don't do anything stupid.
I tell you,
Win this round, though.
one of these tournaments is going to be astonished at the end of this fight because both of these corners believe that their guy is doing great work.
That's the reason we got some Jews in here as well. You heard the mouthpiece and the corner of Isley. They're from 10 with the work they're doing, and we see the play.
I think they can get the stoppage.
In the corner of Hicks, so yeah, I'm puzzled.
I think they're beating Hicks so bad they can stop him, and Hicks, they're just kind of tiptoeing through the tulips. Saying we're having a great night tonight. Sure, you guys win the last round, but we're winning this fight. I love you. You're great. Let's hug it out. Nice right hand there by Troy Isley. We believe his 2 losses to Hicks as amateurs were flukes and bad judging. Is he going to be the victim of, at least by his decision, or
his view of that decision of the judges again tonight. Speaking of judges, Chris, what do you see?
I liked work of Trey Isley in this fight. 87-83 in favor of Isley. These have been some competitive rounds. If you look at some of the punch stats after each round, they've been close for most of them. I think Isley has been the ring general pressing forward during this fight, and I like the power punching about you. Good shot there. He's winning that exchange. There's a small difference in each one of these guys, but I like all these exchanges from Isley a little bit more.
Sergio, what do you think? Who do you think is winning this fight right now?
It's a draw type fight. I'd much rather be Hicks, especially early in this fight. Moments that Isley does have success. Shots are blocked, throwing and punching. Even this is a good round for Isley. Like, Hicks isn't just, sometimes he's moving around there. A lot of times he's moving after Isley hits him. I just pushing him in a certain direction.
Well, no one's asking me, but I'll tell you anyway. I just feel like Isley's just been more aggressive, backing him up, taking the fight to him, landing more punches, throwing more punches. Sure, Hicks has had some good moments, but he's going to win 7 rounds to 3.
Who's the only one that's been hurt in this fight?
Isley, that was what? 8 rounds ago?
Well, still, you got to take that into consideration.
He lost that round. But if you recall, what did Hicks do when he hurt Isley? He did nothing.
This is one of these fights where it's going to be also what the judges are seeing.
I tell you what, I would absolutely the point deduction the difference in this fight because I think that was a completely unnecessary point deduction by the referee. Twice during this main card, we've seen referees make some shaky decisions.
Sergio, do you hear the booze? I want to hear your voice as well on our feed, so let us know who you think won this fight. It'll be interesting to see what our viewers have to say. Right hand for Hicks. He can land him when he's throwing him. He just doesn't seem to want to throw it. Now we'll do it. 10 rounds in the books. After 3 fights as amateurs, this is their first showdown as a pro, as pros. Who do you like? Will Isley remain unbeaten and improve to 17-0, or will Joseph Hicks get his back in blood? Look, Sergio at home, 72% believe Alexandria, Virginia's Troy Isley won it.
Well, this is we're going to find out right now because it really was a frustrating fight if you're both fighters. You know, they have their moments, but they never seem controlled. There was hits early in the fight, in the middle of the round. It was Isley towards the end. They have back and forth. I'll be honest, with a draw type fight or slightly Hicks. But slightly Hicks on a draw type fight.
Look, how much flame do you put on your corner when they're constantly telling you you're doing amazing, you're winning the fight, keep going? I mean, you're supposed to do what your trainer tells you to do, right?
You're absolutely right back there. So whoever loses this fight can actually, point that criticism towards their trainer. The trainer was telling them, don't change after winning this fight.
We'll tune in and we'll absolutely throw a lot of letters. Square off Saturday, August 29th. Moses Matamwa, the young dynamo, faces the stiffest test of his career. El Animal Philip Ergovich, live from London. Sergio, that's a champion's pay-per-view.
100% can't miss. I mean, Moses got power, but only one guy has forward. I think Moses Matamwa is a future in a big test against someone like Ergovich.
Thomas Triber has the numbers. Let's see who wins this. It's his rival. Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Nola Oliver scores it 97-92. And both judges, Pat Cronin and Alex Marin, are in agreement. They both scored the same, 96-93. All for the winner by unanimous decision. Troy, the Transformer Isley. Well, there you have it. Joseph Hicks' corner will say they got it completely wrong, but the scorecards were even close, Sergio.
They like the pressure. They like the man that was coming forward. And you know, can't go against the judges. Anytime two fighters are really landing that many punches, it's a guy who's coming forward. That's why I was. Other than that, I was thinking of that. You can do that. You can do that over. I ain't no play that.
They buried the beef. It still seems like they want to go another few rounds, but it's Troy Isley who remains undefeated as he improves 17-0. Here's our highlights of this 10-round middleweight showdown.
Right hand that landed on Isley, buckling the leg. I'm surprised that Hicks didn't jump on him. You know, there was some good left hooks that were landing around the guard. Hicks, the long arms of Hicks, but anytime he got inside, he neglected the body. Isley did. You know, good body shots would have been a difference here, but either way, and the judges, the way they saw it, even though they got that point deduction, it was one-way street, one-way action. With those points and the cards, whenever you're defensive and go with the back foot and the jab's not going to be enough, usually the guy coming forward trying to push the fight in the take the fight, and that's exactly what happened here.
So Troy Isley says he wants a world title fight next. He says, give me Denzel Bentley, Carlos Adames, here's Landy Lara. According to Chris Mannix, he's more likely to get a #1 contender matchup next. Let's look at our copy box numbers from this middleweight fight that went the full 10 rounds. It was our co-main event of the evening. Total punches landed very similar. All the stats close except for the number of punches thrown. Isley was busier, he was more aggressive, and the judges rewarded him for that.
I'm surprised the jab throw was more on Isley's part as well. It looked like Hicks was the jabber, but
well, coming up next, this crowd is about to catch fire as the GLOAT, Claressa Shields, looks to become a unified champion in the middleweight division again as she faces off against Australia's Kay Scott, who holds 2 belts. The WBA and WBC middleweight titles are on the line. You're watching Saturday Fight Night here live on DAZN.
I'm the GOAT because I'm the most accomplished, and I got 2 Olympic gold medals, and I punch hard, punch fast.
People don't call her that, but she's been the best, so I don't care that she's given herself that name.
I'm the better fighter between me and Kay Scott because I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm more experienced, and I'm just the greatest woman of all time.
She's got a lot of speed, and I think mentally she's very strong. She wins the fight before she even goes in the ring.
I see her ass touching the canvas, and I see her nose bleeding a lot of blood.
I'd expect her to say something like that.
This training camp going back down to middleweight has been extremely hard.
I'm not relying on it, but I do think coming down from heavyweight to middleweight will have a little bit of an effect on her.
I feel faster, I feel younger, I feel sharper, and no, I do not feel weak.
I still believe she's human, that she's beatable.
My final message to Kay Scott is come ready, because I'm not coming to play no games with you.
The unique, crisp, and refreshing taste of Asahi Super Dry.
So I hammer the rudder and we go perpendicular.
Mark that away. That's nothing. I took the heavy dog at plus money. They went vertical out of the gate. Then they got outmaneuvered. Blew the lead. Tower, we got a loser on our sides. Negative Tower, his win is a go. With Bet365's early payout, I won the second they went out big. Out early with Bet365. Everything is always in front of you. Solange, the new extrait, Dior.
The wait is over. After months of speculation, drafts, blockbuster trades, and trade. Football is finally back. NFL preseason begins with the Hall of Fame game. Arizona Cardinals versus Carolina Panthers, August 6th. The Rose.
Superstars come out to play.
I'm a flag today.
This party started.
He's 26.
Think about Roly. You gonna get you or you gonna get him?
Welcome back to Saturday Fight Night live from Atlanta, Georgia. Saturday at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Former friends and sparring partners Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez. They collide with Rolly's WBA welterweight world championship on the line. And there's already plenty of buzz surrounding the matchup, including Claressa Shields, who continues to insist that she can beat Rolly in a boxing match. I absolutely, positively can beat Rolly Romero in a fight. Easily at that. Rolly is a very unorthodox and strong fighter. To me, he just does not possess a lot of boxing skills to me. His fundamentals are not good. My fundamentals are great. I may not be stronger than Rolly, but I know that I can best him in a fight if it was to happen. And no, I wouldn't knock him out. I just box his shoes off. With their fight against with Teofimo and Rolly, let the best man win. I'm not going to wish that on Rolly and say I hope he loses and stuff like that. I want the best man to win. I think it'll be a great fight, and hopefully I get to be there and watch it or watch it on TV. God, you gotta love the confidence coming from Claressa Shields. Joining me now is Chris Janik. And Chris, we just heard Shields say that she can out-box WBA welterweight champ Rolly Romero. She certainly doesn't lack confidence at all, whatsoever.
Maybe she can outbox Rolly Romero, but to beat Rolly Romero, you have to avoid getting caught by Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero has a big left hook. Broly, Gervonta Davis said after their fight that Broly was one of the biggest punchers that he has faced. Broly, in winning his title, knocked down Ryan Garcia. He put Ryan on the canvas early in that fight, wound up outboxing him on his way to a decision. I don't think Broly is an all-time great. I don't think he's a Hall of Fame level fighter, but there is pop in that left hand. I think Claressa Shields could certainly overwhelm him at times with but I think he's got to be able to absorb punches from Broly, and I think eventually Rolly Romero would catch Claressa Shields with something that she's probably not used to feeling.
I would love to see it happen. Love to see the fight.
I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see a woman fight a man.
I do. Are you kidding me? Especially at all women, Claressa? I do. We'll see your vote later. Roy's gonna have a cancel Chris next Saturday. Wait. I mean, who's making his debut at 147 pounds? What are you expecting from Tio right now at this moment?
I'm expecting a pretty good Teofimo Lopez. I do think that he had outgrown 140 pounds, he up to welterweight. I think the added weight is going to do him well. I also think on paper, Rolly Romero is a pretty good matchup for Lopez. Lopez likes guys that come forward. Look at historically some of his best fights. They have been against Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. When he fights more of a boxer, like we saw back in January against Shakur Stevenson, that's when he runs into trouble. He does not like being a front foot fighter. He's not like to face defensively disciplined guys. Guys like Shakur, guys like Sandor Martin, to a certain degree, a guy like George Kambosos. Those are the types of fighters that have given Teofimo Lopez some trouble over the years. But Rolly Romero is not that type of guy. Rolly is coming to knock Teofimo out. But I've seen from Teofimo in the past, when you try to knock Teofimo out, he has success against you. I will say, the one variable in all this, the relationship between Teofimo and his father. I was watching the Ring Magazine podcast featuring Teofimo Sr. and Jr., and there still seemed to be some disconnect after the fight against Shakur. Teofimo Sr. did not have a good night in that fight. Teofimo Lopez Jr. was not happy with his father's coaching in that fight. Has that rift been healed going into this fight, or there's still some tension between father and son?
Something to keep an eye on coming this Saturday. Turning our focus now, Chris, tonight, main event. That is Claressa making weight, and by all accounts, Chris said it was peak.
Yeah, Claressa Shields feels like making this weight is where she's supposed to be. It has been 3 years since she's fought at 160 pounds, but getting down to this weight, she believes she's comfortable. Since she made it easy, she was bouncing around all week at the open workout, at the press conference, at the weigh-in. She was feeling good. I think this weight cut has not been difficult with Claressa Shields. I expect to see the very best from Claressa Shields tonight.
With that being said, I mean, after spending her last 3 fights at heavyweight, what do you think might be her adjustment? Do you think it's going to be as easy as she's so confidently making it seem, or are there going to be some maybe blips that you have to?
I'm wondering if there's going to be an increase in power in Claressa Shields. We know she can box, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. We know she's got a hand speed advantage, but we have yet to see real power from Claressa. Now, she brought Andre Durrell in for this camp, the former Olympic bronze medalist, former title challenger at the super middleweight division. Flint, Michigan native, somebody she knows well, and some of the work that they have been doing for this camp has been focused on power punches, slowing down some of these exchanges, throwing less punches to sit down on more of them. Claressa Shields, I think, wants to make a statement in this fight. She is the better fighter than Kay Scott, full stop, but she doesn't want to beat Kay by 10-0 decision. She wants to go up there and knock Kay Scott out.
And finally, what is this move back down to middleweight? The first step for Shields pursuing some of the other bigger and higher profile fights available. What is that going to prove, and will that be on the line?
Claressa is certainly not overlooking Kay Scott, but she has her eyes on bigger prizes. She is looking to fight Lauren Price at 160 pounds in her next fight. Lauren Price, the former Olympic gold medalist over in the UK, she is a welterweight title holder, and the two sides have been negotiating over the last couple of weeks to make a fight between Claressa and Price at 160 pounds. Now, Claressa wants to get down to 160, see if she can do it in a healthy way. She checked that box, and she wants to make sure that there is hardware on the line when she fights Lauren Price. So Claressa comes through this clean, wins these 2 world titles. I do believe we are going to get Shields versus Price in a big matchup in their next fight.
And look, you got to look at the other side too. I know a lot of fans are here to see Claressa, but you got to look at Kay Scott as well. The champ going into this doesn't have as many pro fight experiences set in, but what has she got to do to make this not only competitive, but maybe come out successful?
I think she's got to hit a home run shot, if we're being honest. Kay Scott's 42 years old, and the only reason that she turned professional is because Australia doesn't allow women to fight in the amateurs in their 40s. So she's professional now, 7 fights in, looked pretty good her last time out against Olivia Curry, but she is lacking when it comes to hand speed. She is lacking when it comes to skill. She has been a very solid amateur throughout the course of her pro career, but she does not have the same skill set as Claressa Shields. She has got to push Claressa back, and she has got to land a big shot. That is her only chance, I believe, of winning this fight.
And a lot of people in-house here for this. And we had Usher, Kevin Gates. I don't know who else you're seeing down there, but
I've seen everybody.
Chris, appreciate you for getting up here. Let's send it back down to Todd and Serge for the tail of the tape, guys.
All right, it's a sweltering, humid night here in Atlanta as this crowd is ready to get hot themselves for this main event. Claressa Shields, the quote, makes her debut in Atlanta to square off against the champ, Kay Scott, who fights out of Australia. Kay Scott is stronger, she's bigger, she's longer, but no one seems to think she's better except Kay Scott's friends and family. Can she pull off one of the biggest stunners of all time? You see the fight record and the experience edge for Claressa Shields, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Let's get it started. Here's Thomas Tribe. Live worldwide on DAZN. Let's now welcome to the ring our main event participants. First, the defending world champion from Australia, Kay Clever Scott. Well, if Kay Scott is intimidated or nervous or doubts herself, you wouldn't know if you're talking to her, Sergio. She said, listen, I sparred Claressa back in 2016. Claressa doesn't remember it, by the way. And she said, listen, I'll put my hands on her. I don't put her on a pedestal like everyone else does. I think I can give her trouble if I bring my A game. I beat her.
And that's because they have that experience for him. This is an Olympian versus an Olympian, a champion versus a champion. And the reason that Kay Scott is so confident because she thinks that Claressa Shields at this point of her career, of her life, is overlooking her, overconfident, and of course, because she's coming down from heavyweight, maybe having weight issues, getting back to 160.
All right, Sergio, keys to victory for Scott. You said that she drops the right hand, she can get clipped. But offensively, can she hurt the ropes?
It's going to be a right hand. She is tall, she is longer, she has some power. She's going to have to really do something we haven't seen. She has the midsection. Maybe she'll put her on the front foot. She'll bust her up at times when she's working with opponents. So you got to take it out of the midsection, try and dip, punch and dip, or something to always going to come back and do an exchange with the poke. The Shields has a faster hand, and we're rely on timing, and not
Just coming off the biggest win of her career, defeating Olivia Curry in their rematch to claim the vacant WBC and WBA middleweight champions. And Scott became a world champion at the age of 41 after just her 7th pro fight. Sergio, that's pretty incredible in its own right.
No, it is very impressive because she is older and she's still fighting against the best at a championship level at this age of her career. When she got in the pro experience, she makes up with the amateur experience and the confidence that she brings to the table. And she can stay fluid, stay confident. And like she told us, and that's something I love hearing from her. When she's hurt, she knows she's going to get hit. So she has to control her body language, control her breathing, and hide anytime she'll attempt something big. That's excellent way of thinking when you're not the favorite.
If you're wondering why Kay Scott got such a late start in the game, she's 42 years old now. That's because she had to wait to start her amateur boxing career because women's boxing was banned in her state of New South Wales until 2009. And after that ban was lifted, Scott took part in the first ever female bout in the state. So similar to what Katie Taylor had to go through in Ireland when boxing was banned for women in her country. So Kate Scott, a trailblazer in her country, and boy, would she set the sport on fire if she could somehow pick up one of the biggest wins anyone's ever gotten in a ring to beat Claressa Shields here tonight. Kay Scott, currently one of Australia's 2 reigning world champions, alongside Sky Nicholson, who holds the 122 pounds. And there's Claressa Shields, who loves to glam up for the press conference for the win. You saw her yesterday with a feather boa, an outrageous bikini, but she takes all the makeup off. All the glam comes off, and she says she gets back to the basics. She comes back to the beatdowns. She said she used to give to her mother's boyfriends back in the day, Sergio. She used to stand up for her family with her fists.
She's a fighter at heart. But she knows at this age of boxing, especially women's boxing, looks also sell. Looks also promote. So not only are the looks going to get you somewhere, but the hooks are going to get you even farther. And when it comes down to fighting, when that bell rings, there's only one champion there that's won 2 gold medals. There's only one 19-time world champion, 5 division champion, 3 times undisputed, and that's Claressa Shields. And that's the reason she had that.
By the time this motherfucker started,
Slight delay as we're dealing with some security issues before the quote makes the walk. As everyone in this arena is on their feet, has their phones out, crowding the barriers. She has become a one-woman force. Other than Katie Taylor, Sergio, no one has the magnetic personality and the draw in the women's game like Claressa Shields.
Now, there's always something that's missing, right? Like Amanda Serrano, she had the power and the body shots and the way of fighting, but she didn't have the colorful character. You know, she wasn't outspoken. She was more timid in return. Then you have Alicia Baumgartner, who has the looks, has the mouth, but then she's not really, there's something missing with her as well. Claressa Shields has a little bit of everything. You know, a little bit of everything. That's the reason she's able to promote herself.
All right, Sergio, let's revisit from earlier tonight your keys to victory for Claressa Shields.
Claressa Shields needs to finish everything with a hook, because whenever you're dealing with someone with bad defense, you got to sweep them with that left hook. You want to exchange hooks. Look at what you see right here. Kay Scott always drops that right hand. There's always an opening on the right side of her face because that's bad technique. That's something where you have a late start in boxing. Something where you're fighting with smaller gloves, you rely on the bigger gloves. So every time you get in an exchange, if you're Claressa Shields, you sweep away. And if she falls off balance and squares up like that, that left hook's going to get harder and more accurate.
And there it is, Kay Scott. Sergio, Claressa Shields, 18 wins, only 3 knockouts, but you believe she gets one tonight against Kay Scott? Is it just because that she drops that right hand so
even at 31 years old, I think Claressa Shields has grown into not only her strength, her power, but even knowing. This is a woman, this is a champion that doesn't stop learning. She's always trying to learn. And now that she has Andre Terrell, you know, a fighter that I really respect, speed is not going to be enough. It's punch placement and turning shots and technique, and I think that's why she's going to carry the power.
All right, we're ready to see the go make the walk. Here's Thomas Driver.
And now let's welcome the challenger from the United States, known as the Blunt, Claressa T-Rex
It is is an absolute packed house, and it has been for a few hours. This just isn't a fight night. This is a whole scene as Lotto's about to finger to the ring.
Oh, he's walking to the ring. This is a different song than we're familiar with Clarissa Shields. You can hear everyone here knows the lyrics and just sing along.
Somebody come out with Remy Ma. Her next fight, the other fight ought to come out with Remy Ma, but it should be lying.
Jam-packed State Farm Arena in Atlanta, which just shows you how popular Clarissa Shields is in the entire country, not just her home state of Michigan. This crowd is going crazy.
Whether it's Flint or whether it's anywhere in Michigan or Atlanta, this woman, this champion, this woman knows how to bring out the crowd and put on a show.
The zone gives K-Scott a 13% chance of pulling off the upset. I didn't think it would be that high.
Okay. Hey, man. Who won the fight between them two dudes, man? I was sleep like a motherfucker.
We ask that you all please rise for first the playing of the national anthem for Australia.
Man, they ain't showing the next man tomorrow, motherfucking night. Man, I'm saying she black, bro. Man, she got a little fire too.
And now we welcome Johnny Blaze to perform the singing of the song Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Never see you sing. Really now to me like you about to cry.
And now we welcome Molly Nicole to sing the national anthem for the United States.
Damn, big boy, your national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 10 rounds. It will be for the WBA and WBC Women's Middleweight Championships of the World. Brought to you by Salida Promotions, in partnership with Win Records, Larissa Shields Promotions in round 30. Presenting sponsor is Zeus Network, along with our great sponsor, OnlyFans. Station 5.
This is why OnlyFans, but see, right there, see OnlyFans members.
President, Roberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor, Tina Alpardita, and the World Boxing Council, President, Mauricio Suleiman, Supervisor, Jill Diamond. The judges are Mike Ross, Wilfredo Esperon, and Alex Marin. Our referee in charge will be Joel Scobie. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. So boxing fans joining us live worldwide, and boxing fans here in Atlanta, Georgia. The hour of truth has arrived. Introducing first, the challenger. Fighting out of the red corner, she comes to the ring wearing red with gold and weighed in officially at 159.8 pounds. A native of Flint, Michigan, she is now fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, USA, and had a stellar amateur career, becoming a two-time Olympic gold medalist, and now as a professional, undefeated, 18 wins, 3 wins come by way of knockout. Her accomplishments include winning 19 world titles in 5 weight divisions, becoming the undisputed light middleweight and middleweight world champion, the current undisputed heavyweight world champion, and the #1 pound for pound female fighter in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, universally recognized as the greatest female fighter of all time, here is the queen, Claressa T-Rex Shields. And across the ring in this main event, she is the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner. She comes to the ring wearing red with white and weighed in officially at 158.8 pounds. Coming to us from Sydney, Australia, she brings a professional record of 5 wins, just 1 defeat, and 1 draw. Tonight, in her first world title defense, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and defending WBA and WBC Women's Middleweight Champion of the World, Glamour Scott.
Claressa and Jay, we went over the rules of the dressing room. I remind you to follow my commands, protect yourself at all times. Just listen up to the low blows. Both of you are going to go from the middle of the letters and up for legal punches. Good luck to you both.
All right, so finally, it's go time. 12:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Are we about to see another dominant, destructive beatdown from Claressa Shields or K. Scott?
Pull off one of the biggest upsets since Jake Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. Shields 30-1 favorite. Our main event starts now, live from Atlanta, Georgia. This for the WBC and WBA middleweight championships of the world.
Here we go.
Watch early on with Kay Scott is can she stay on that front foot? She's not going to be successful against Claressa Shields fighting off that back foot. We saw it the rest of last fight with Franchon Cruz. Franchon wanted to be a front foot fighter, but just couldn't seem to keep the pressure of Claressa Shields off.
And Scott's not going to have any success if she's she fights so stiff and tall. Normally that's good if you're fighting another fighter, not as fluid, not as quick on the trigger across the shoot, but being that stiff and not moving your upper body, it's only a matter of time before she times her.
She also has very little head movement, so she Scott likes to fight going forward, but right now Shields
Sorry.
there.
And Scott is actually overwhelmed. She keeps her head high.
So the Shields and Scott fires back. We're already seeing some evolution of Claressa just sitting down on his punch.
So Scott's exchanging messages so early.
Well, Chris said earlier, there's no way that Scott can outbox her. She's got to outfight her.
She is trying to get her respect.
And even Shields said yesterday in the weigh-in, she was impressed by the big and strong Kay Scott.
You gotta remember, Shields also has face under a 6 foot tall, just like Kay Scott. Actually, shot with an overhead shot, overhead right. Coming up on Kay Scott.
She's had problems before.
Give it to a hematoma very slow.
Yeah, we just started fighting. Yeah.
Are here tonight, Sugar Shane Mosley, famously known for his brawl with Sergio Mora. There's Mayweather and Crawford sharing an incident moment. Shakur Stevenson, one of the pound-for-pound best in the world today. YG, the rapper.
Yeah, YG did make it.
Oscar ringside here in Atlanta.
And that's the real answer. I look like that nigga dude.
First round for Claressa Shields, although Scott did have some moments. Chris, what do you see it so far?
I see a woman in Claressa Shields that wants to win a fight by knockout. We've seen Claressa have success in the past, flurrying, throwing 8, 9, 10 punch combinations at times. I think she can do that any time against Kay Scott. But that first round, she's looking for one victory.
Just let their hands go. It's the fight now. Good right hand there to fluctuate and Shields.
Give it to Kay Scott, and she mixing it up with Shields. Shields got to have the compact power type punches. Around Kay Scott getting just what he's taking. I would love to see Shields go body shot. She was against the body, so always trying to hit her. She can take down, get the respect. Snap down first and second hits around the top. She'll try to shoulder roll until they come back with that right hand.
Shields on another one. Scott there. Scott Wood right there in the pocket.
Tell you what, that's far on the head of Kay Scott. She's getting bigger and bigger. That last round,
Looks like guys aren't throwing punches. They're usually my elbows. There's something sharp that hit over there. Normally, a glove doesn't do that. Headbutt. I wouldn't be surprised if the doctor taking out this after this round and the next one. Exciting fight. Janelle Erie on X, 8 or 11, Caressa Shields at the draw. Either got rival promoters giving her free promos. Talking about MVP, she's become sort of a rival for Caressa Shields. She called it out yesterday. Said, I'll beat anybody. By the way, back in December of 2024, Kay Scott suffered 2 significant head clashes in her fight against Jesse Robinson, which had an enormous hematoma form on her head, similar to what we're seeing here tonight. She's got to get that install going on her, Sergio. She's doing a good job pushing it down. I mean, it should have been a lot worse by now from the corner. Kay Scott doing a tremendous job. The worst one I ever remember seeing was Steve Rockman, I believe, against Evander Holyfield. Another man that was a jet was losing his head. Great Holyfield. With a 1-2. Shot right on top of that. I think she was looking at even taller than that round. It was hard to miss. She's got 2 heads. This is what's happening to her. Push back shots. She says she was there doing it, and she is. I like the job that she's doing to her torso today. Clearly as well. A lot more shots than she's in. Good volleyball for the rest of the action. But Scott knew she was going to have to get these shots. She was going to have to go to fire. Quadruple jab from Shields. Sergio, you wanted more body shots from the quote. She's giving them to you. You surprised by what you're seeing from Kay Scott as she needs the right hand, or just what you thought? I'm surprised with the toughness. She'll shoot her right now. I mean, I'm confident she'll power and that she has a better technique. And just barely missing those left hooks. I'm talking about what keys to victory. Shots like that are really missing because of the lack of upper body movement of Scott. So it's the complete control of the effort to be shown by Fighting faster hand. There's that shoulder roll. Trying to catch her with that shoulder roll. Came up short right there. Mr. Shields squares up, and there is openings for uppercuts. Both these fighters are squaring up. You can see that it's Shields with a slightly faster hand taking advantage of the shot from off the guard. I tell you, I love the chemistry that John David Jackson has against Andre Terrell in the corner of Caressa Shields. No overlap there. JDJ gives his instructions right at the top. Points to Andre. He gives his piece. Very solid corner work by that team. Like the work we saw in Tyson Fury's corner a few nights ago, where everyone was giving conflicting information and talking over each other. It's good to see a corner
match there together as we look at Chris Phoenix's scorecard. They had a pretty easy fight to score at this point, 3-0. Jay Scott, tough, landing a few shots, overwhelming what being done right now by the rest of the shots. You see some openings for Scott to land some big punches, Sergio.
There's an opening with the right hand, but Clarissa keeps rolling with that shot. I mean, she's not really good at that shoulder roll. That shoulder blocking that shot, so no, not yet. See how Shields has been practicing that. Just to get Scott to get overconfident, maybe overcommitting with a left jab, and then put it over the top.
John Jackson fast at that last round. She's doing effective body work these last 2 rounds. There's body shots over the rest of the game from Clarissa Shields. Somebody's numbers 174 to 98 advantage in punches thrown, 37 to 19 power punches landed.
Shields is not overloading like she has in the past. They've worked on this. They're working on breaking down opponents responsibly with that jab, not overloading. Not losing his ground. Shields is working sharp and responsible.
Shoulder roll again by Clarissa Shields. Two-time Olympic gold medalist.
There's that overloading with that right hand. That's the first time I've seen her do it so far.
Stiff big crowd here tonight, an even bigger one coming up September 5th at the historic Grove Park. They're expecting 80,000 fans for the farewell song from Katie Taylor as she rounds out her incredible career live on the zone.
I got a chance to be rough. It ain't gonna be rough in there. What you say gonna do? You're gonna touch a line real high. Let's keep going on there.
They wanted to be rough in there, Sergio.
I love hearing that. They're not here to win a decision because they know they can't outfight someone like Clarissa Shields. They can try to outfight someone like Shields, but they gotta get her going. They gotta get her more of a tough fight.
For round 5, scheduled for 10, Shields probably has won the first 4 rounds. She's allowing Scott to come to her. Catch her with a counter right hand. She's in full counter. She's setting up for it, Sergio.
Shields is really good at fighting off the ropes. You see her in every fight. She's so comfortable fighting off the ropes.
There it was, landed. True to 4, trying to make it rough.
You see that Scott really strong on the inside. And it's tangled up on the inside. Shields is just sharper. There's that shot. You know, if you're not in a position to go like that, you should be going.
Scott trying to bully Shields on the inside. Why not? The crowd sounds like they're a little bit concerned, but I think Shields is allowing her to do that. It's a novice here, so Russell back to that corner. So Jay Scott wants to take advantage of it. Shots here as well.
I agree. I like to do the shoot.
It's a shot. It's certainly when you're in this kind of crowd, that's why you're a body sort of is as a
she will take it.
Shields falling off the ropes. So that was a smart strategic move. Shot that landed in exchange by Shields. Again, Shields firing to the rib cage. Probably the best round of the fight, though, for Jay Scott. I'm not sure she won it. Oh, big left hand there. Scott got hurt it, too.
Slight little catch and countering. Bicep fits that hook and staying against the rope. Just looking for a rope and a real call. Not betting, but she got his mother and she still wants a little bit of space for nice shots like that. Really clean work, even against the ropes. As a group. This round is turned into a party. Round 6, Shields wants a knockout of the worst rank, Chris. I think she's going to be able to get it. He's got some tough. So far, taking the best Shields has thrown out. I do like the money, but not for the Shields said she normally does 6-week training camps. Did 12 weeks of preparation for this fight. And she said, I want to destroy Scott in front of this massive crowd.
Yeah, I think it was smart because you're going from around 175 back down to 160. Never fought there in 3 years. She told us this week that she kind of got stuck in the 170s, a month or 2 months before the fight. Took a while to lose those last few pounds. So she's glad she took that full 12-week training camp.
The coach section by Shield. You know, she's coming to success in high head. She puts it together real nicely, not overloading on the punches.
If you're wondering, yes, Claressa Shields has been knocked down before, but it happened 8 years ago. The first round flash knockdown against Anna Gabriel.
Around now, with Claressa Shields keeps the glory. Let her hands go. The referee to step in and stop the fight.
Stop it now, Chris. She doesn't look good. Catch Shields. Their first strikeout in 2 years. She's ready to go. It's over. Claressa Shields.
Not one, not two, but 3 towels come in. Just fucking fight and stop that outside. Not Claressa. What a beast performance here in Atlanta.
Atlanta is on fire. What a performance by the Crow. Another chapter is written as she comes straight down from heavyweight to become the unified middleweight champion of the world.
We're watching something special. We're watching greatness. Who goes up to heavyweight, comes right back down to middleweight to do what she just did. Very much power from 160 to 175 plus. Bouncing around from different divisions, knocking out and beating up different champions.
Anything less than a knockout was not going to please Claressa Shields. She was on a seek and destroy mission, and that's exactly what she did. There will be an argument, Sergio, maybe it's for a later day, but who will be the greatest female fighter who ever lived, Katie Taylor or Claressa Shields? You tell me.
Listen, on any given day, you can go to either side. But there's a reason Katie Taylor is the pound-for-pound number 1 list. There's a reason she's going to fill out a stadium. But Claressa Shields is incredible. What she's doing from the amateurs all the way to the professional ranks and only getting bigger, more popular, stronger, and hurting fighters like this. Take your time, be in position. How beautiful dangerous performance by Shields. There's that hook right there. That definitely failed Kate Scott like I knew it would.
Larissa is now 31 years old. She said earlier this week she wants to keep fighting until she's 38. So many more magical moments to come. And perhaps Lauren Price will be her next opponent. The Welsh woman, I'm sure, is watching this right now. Sergio, what do you think's going through her head?
Hey, listen, Lauren Price is another awesome fighter. 4-foot offensive Olympian. Another great champion as well. But there's so many names that are around that list. The Shields is the only one willing to sacrifice and go down in weight or go up in weight. All of these fighters should do is sacrifice just to make the biggest fight happen.
That's what this crowd came to see. They wanted violence, and they got it. Party, Sergio, is going to go deeper tonight. I can promise you that. The bar shifter don't close till 3 a.m. I don't think, maybe 4. Sergio Haskins wants that birthday fight. Give us a grade.
I need to see one of them fight too.
Perfect execution and exactly what Larissa wanted to do. She did it with flying colors.
All right, Thomas Driver, are you in there, my man? Tell us the story. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 1 minute 38 seconds of round number 6. The blue corner retires their fighter. Our referee, Charles Scobie, accepts their retirement. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and the new WBA and WBC Women's Middleweight Champion of the World, known as the Wolf, Claressa T-Rex Shields. She's won world titles at 154 pounds, 160, 168, 175, and 5 division world champion, 3 divisions undisputed. And now Sergio, she's got 2 middleweight titles again, and she wants more.
Undisputed heavyweight champion, the unified middleweight champion. I mean, that's incredible. That really is greatness that we're watching and witnessing.
But hey, it takes 2 to tango. And how about Kay Scott stepping up to the plate and fighting with everything she has?
She has nothing to be ashamed of. Everything she said she was going to do, she attempted to do it. She was just in there as someone that was just way better, way greater, and way more experienced on the professional level.
All right. Feel free to stay on that shot, Bob. What are you doing in there?
You're going to get a lot of it, baby.
That's the director. He's throwing the director under the bus. Get up, you rascal. But hey, I think Kay Scott brought a knife to a gunfight tonight. And it was Claressa Shields who flew her away as we go into the ring in Brisbane.
Claressa, congratulations. You get your 19th win, 4th knockout, collect belts number 20 and 21 on your resume, and you prove again you're the queen of 160 pounds. How'd you feel about that performance?
I felt, well, one, I want to give my honor, and I want to thank God. And I want to thank my team, Coach John, Coach Andre Darrell, who thinks that Food Things Win Records Network is on, and we should lead my promoter. And then, it was a hard camp. It was a hard camp. You know, I always tell myself that everything's easy work, but it was a really hard camp. I cut 38 pounds. I started 14 weeks ago. I was 198, and then I got down to 160, and it was a hard camp. I mean, the most disciplined I've been since the Olympics, I feel like.
You knew coming in, you probably had a big skill advantage, speed advantage, accuracy advantage, but it seemed like from the opening bell, you were looking to get that stoppage.
No, I was actually just trying to figure her out. She was stronger than what I thought. She was very strong, and I knew that when we cut in the way that I cut, yes, I didn't want to exert too much early, so I was trying to make sure I could deal with her grip and not get strong as I feel at 175, but I am a strong leg. I just don't feel like it. Instead of going to her body and breaking her down, she did my tabs and everything was really on point, but I kind of thought that all the girls that super tough would go 10 rounds. So I was like, well, this same thing, I'm going to go 10 rounds, so how can I go, knock her out? And when I got going to the body and seeing that my right hand was just landing, I'm like, you're a little bit closer. Take my time with my shots. And when I think I threw a right hook and a right, and I slowed it down, and all three was hit. And I see her lay you up, I'm like, oh shit, she ready to go. So we've been working on it all camp.
Walking through that punch, you seem to hit her with a clean shot, kind of delayed reaction over there before she went down. What did you see there?
I just remember getting close and going to right, hook, right. And I seen that she was trying to fight back, and I think I another right and a hook, and then she started wobbling and going down.
It seemed like they threw every towel in the locker room in there at the very end. You disappointed you couldn't get to the highlight finish?
I know. I am happy with my highlights. I'm happy with my performance. I'm happy with my camp. I sprained my knee. Everybody keeps asking me about my game. Knee break. I sprained my knee 2 weeks ago working on delivering my power with a shot. And my thing popped out of my leg. So I'm kind of letting it pop out during the fight. So I had to pray this thing the past 2 weeks. But I feel really good. I feel really strong. And I can't wait to fight against Lauren Price at 160.
I'll ask you about that, but you coming down here to Atlanta, this was your idea. You were selling out arenas in Michigan. You came down here, 16,000 fans here in Atlanta that came to see you tonight.
That is so crazy to me. Oh my God. I walked out here, I said, oh, they in this mother level for your girl. Man, I knew I could do it. Atlanta love black excellence, just like Detroit. And I came out here and showed why I'm pound number one.
All right, so Lauren Price, is that the fight that you want next?
Yes, if I can get it in between December and January. If not, I will want to fight against Michaela or Tam Tebow. She got the rest of 3 belts. She only had that many fights in the professionals, but she got belts. It's not my fault this girl don't have the experience I have. But hey, she got a belt that I know belongs to me, and that's the ring belt. I've always been number one at 160, and when I decided to come back down to 160, that automatically made me number one. I don't know how the Ring magazine let them let Chelsea and Tam fight for the ring belt, and Tam was not number 2 or 1. It doesn't make sense.
Congratulations, Claressa.
Thank you, and to all my fans, I love y'all for spending y'all hard-earned money, getting y'all hotels and y'all flights. Everybody that drove here and got on buses from Flint, I love y'all, and I can't wait to get back out here and do this again.
All right, Demetri, we'll give you the last word. You want to come back to Atlanta?
Atlanta was great. Alyssa made history again, being the first woman to headline an event at this beautiful world-class venue. Alyssa's goal is to find the best. She's been going up and down the way historically, and one of the biggest and the best fights, Atlanta, Detroit, New York City. Here we come.
Sky's the limit. Appreciate it, Demetri. Sergio, Claressa Shields, as she always says, I'll fight anybody, but she's really dialed in on Lauren Price. Will that be a competitive fight?
Oh, it'll be an incredible fight. I mean, it'll be an internationally popular fight. And I just love that she's willing to call out not only popular fighters like Lauren Price, but underrated champions like Tam Tebow. That's the one that actually makes the most sense. Tebow actually is big. She's strong. Put punches together. But unknown. I love that.
Years, don't you think, to be her peak?
I don't know what I'm saying is Claressa Shields not dodging that smoke. Okay. I'm not mentioning her name. She's the champion. She's the ring. So the fact she's supposed to popularity in champions, and also for people that the champions deserve the respect and recognition.
All right, well, they wanted a show. They got a show. Claressa Shields showing out in Atlanta, Georgia, her first time fighting outside of Michigan in 4 years. She improves to 19-0 and wants to fight as soon as December. Next week, we are headed to Las Vegas, Nevada, for the DAZN pay-per-view live in the T-Mobile Arena as Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez will have to put their friendship on the back burner and slug it out. You can see it live
live as part of your DAZN Ultimate Package August the 22nd. Let's jump into highlights of this, our main event. Sergio, plenty of good stuff to talk about.
That is everything. It was a Clarissa Shields show, and I love the patience she showed. The patience, the punch placement, the power, everything was from the foundation, though. When we said, what will it keep the big
Good night, y'all.